Hey everyone, Adam Gellman here for another edition of WTCtv. This time we are doing this our own way. We're going to call this the title match. I've got some folks here that you may or may not be familiar with. We're going to be discussing Panini Impeccable WWE today, some of the things that are going on. So, Ryan, you have been in a couple of the videos I'm sure people have seen. Ben, you're kind of a new addition to this. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, and then we'll go from there. Ryan, do you want to start?
Yeah, you guys know me, Macho Madness on Twitter, at Slim Jim Madness. I've been in a couple of his videos by now. That's it. Nice and simple.
All right, Ben.
I'm Ben. This is the first time I've ever done one of these, but if you've bought wrestling cards on eBay, there's probably a good chance you've bought from me at some point in time.
Awesome. Yeah, Ben does a lot of stuff. I know he's one of the largest wrestling sellers on eBay, so you can catch him there. So, guys, one of the reasons that we're here without Tony this time, Tony was taken away on some family stuff, but we wanted to get this out while the product was hot. What are you guys thinking about the set overall? What are your initial impressions of kind of how you see it? What are some of the things that you're noticing kind of right off the bat? Ben, you want to start?
What I did notice is that there was a lot of hobby chatter outside of the wrestling community, people wanting to buy up cases, and it was people that I recognized from the basketball and football segments, and I knew what they were going to be chasing. I did notice on release day, cases dropped a little bit in price, maybe about 10%. I guess a lot of people had cold feet and were trying to dump them. But immediately those pretty much got bought up. And then you started seeing these type of cards.
Yep.
Getting bought up at weirdly expensive prices. And that has kind of gone up from there. Even as of today, we're seeing what are record prices for some of these people. I think a Mick Foley yesterday went for $600 or $700.
Yeah, crazy price. I saw that too. I know Ryan and I were talking about this leading up to it. I know, Ben, we've had a couple of conversations as we've gone to. Like, I think what sets Impeccable apart, outside of just Select and Prism, is that it has the hobby legacy in a little bit of a different way, because those products are more shiny. They are targeted at player collectors and investors. This is the first Panini super premium configuration, 1-pack, 9 cards, 5 autographs. It's very focused and it's very sort of high end. Ryan, when you first saw this, like on the previews versus what is actually coming out of the packs, do you think that did you expect what Ben was kind of explaining here?
I think it ended up being exactly what I thought it was going to be, and that's from having experience in Impeccable and other brands. The cards are really nice. It's really a nice set. It was designed nicely. It's the old Denny Green. They are who we thought they were.
Right, exactly.
Some of the prices are good. I mean, that's all you can say. And then WWE needs that. They need that to maintain relevance. That needs the high prices. I think that Foley was out of 3.
Yeah, it was out of 3.
Yeah. So that's super, super, super low. And there's got to be more than 3 Foley collectors. And don't discount the people who are collecting whatever that set was, whether it was
exactly.
Yeah, because it's like I tweeted a couple of days ago. Anything Hall of Fame in the stick and ball sports, people flock to those sets. Anything Ravens Hall of Fame, they have 3 Hall of Famers: Ray Lewis, Ogden, and Ed Reed. Anything that's Hall of Fame with those 3 guys, I buy. I buy it just based on the fact that it's Hall of Fame. And seeing the Hall of Fame cards, I could see how people would focus on that set and really go after it. But the same thing with the WrestleMania appearances and the titles and all that too.
Yeah, and I think the case price dropping was a little bit of a false flag in a lot of ways, because people get these instinctual sort of like, it's the Prism stuff's happening all over again. I gotta drop it before it really tanks. And then what ended up happening is the silver bars start selling well. The 101 start selling well.
These are way more expensive than they have been in other sports.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ryan and I aren't huge fans of those cards, but I know that like a lot of people really like them as kind of like the gimmick that they are. And they're unique, right? They're a unique type of card. They're a unique sort of like one parallel is the 101. They've got otherwise there's 35 copies of each one of them, so they're rare. But and same with the WrestleMania, the Hall of Fame, the title cards. Like there's only one parallel, so there's only if the card's numbered to 3, there aren't like other parallels of that card. It's just 3 of them,
Right.
and like you said, Ben, I've seen a lot of people who are stick and ball collectors, mainstream hobby collectors, wanting to get into these sets because top level investment pieces in those sets are in the tens of thousands of dollars for Steph Curry, Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady, and other impeccable sets. Here you get the most expensive one is probably going to be like $2,000 or $3,000. So like that's where I think there's like people are seeing these going for as cheap as they are. Like I can spare that. I spent 30 grand on the Kobe, right? So
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even match up in the stick and ball sports. It's as great as it is for wrestling, and it doesn't even end up on the radar for stick and ball sports. I mean, people are still paying $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 for cards. I mean, with like Bailey Zapp of the Patriots or Zappy, however you say his name, somebody's going to pay stupid amount of money for that card when it pops up, and it is what it is, I guess. But wrestling is slowly catching up, but it's got a long way to go to catch up to the mainstream sports. But I mean, this is a really strong offering. It's got strong interest, strong prices. I mean, it's a success. It really is.
Yeah.
How do you guys think the on-card autographs? So the only other on-card autographs we saw were NXT, right? And that's not at the same level that this is, or even to the level of Select, Revolution, Prism, whatever. So this is really the first main roster on-card set. Like, do you think that that's had an impact on some of these values?
Absolutely. I mean, they're very clean cards with clean autographs where the wrestlers took their time signing these. And I think Panini tweeted that out, a bunch of different wrestlers signing cards and stuff. I mean, here, I'll just show you one. Like, I mean, she took her time on that autograph, right?
Right.
There's no smudges. There's no streaks. They're not signing 2 letters like they do in basketball.
Unless you're Becky.
Unless you're Becky. Yeah. Hers is more of a symbol, but I get it. It's a win. Yeah. I have nothing. I went into this release very hesitant. I was about to not buy any of it and just go all in on Chronicles. And I did a couple of cases through Loop and fell in love with it immediately. Of course, it didn't hurt that I put about 4 great cards in 3 boxes, but
right, yeah.
What'd you get?
I had a Cena 101 gold bar. I had a Shawn Michaels Hall of Fame to 17. Let's see, a Hogan championship debut to 84, and then another Shawn Michaels. It was in like 4 boxes, so
it was crazy.
That's great.
Yeah.
So and that's the thing. It's like you open these packs, right? So Prism, you got to get through a lot of shit before you actually get to the stuff you want to see, right? And then Select, you may get a couple of cards a box that are really worth the price of admission, but that's only, maybe 1 or 2 boxes a case are really delivering the A-level hits. Here, there is supposed to be 1 box hit per box with 1 case hit, in addition to the gold bars or the silver bars that you would get, in addition to the jumbo relic cards, which are awesome looking in themselves. Even though they're giant matte relics, they're not really the same as the T-shirts that we've seen with the cool patches. But, overall, when you open these packs, like I feel like it's a whole different experience, right? Because it's meant to be. It's a premium products. And most WWE collectors, their only experience with premium products comes from Undisputed. Their only experience comes with Transcendent, where they're probably not opening by themselves or opening in slots in a group break. This is really like a lot of WWE's collectors' first experience with a product like Impeccable, a product that is built like something Panini usually is bringing to the mainstream hobby, things that are much more different. And so I think where you have Prism that is targeted at, rainbows, Select targeted at rainbows, Revolution is like low end type of like have fun with it. This is different. It feels different. And you said you fell in love with it right away. I get it, man. And the cards look awesome coming out of the pack.
I think the price point's right. I think I'm on case 5 now, and pretty much every box the box hit has been a card worth at least $100. And if you take that into basketball, football, baseball, into a $400 or $500 product, you're not going to be guaranteed a card worth $100 or more in every one of those boxes. Yeah. So the ROI is there, or the risk at least. It's a lot easier for people to handle. That's what got me on Transcendent back in 2019. I think I'm 7 cases deep of Transcendent and have yet to ever lose money on any of that.
Yeah. Plus Transcendent is an experience as well as a box.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's like, it's a little bit different, but like, I think Transcendent is really the most expensive the product will ever get, even if Panini were to do something like Eminence, or they were to do something like National Treasures. It's never going to get to $12,000 a box. It's never going to get to $17,000 a box. But I also believe that this is the entry level, and I think Panini is sort of looking to see, is this going to work?
Yeah.
So that we can bring products like Immaculate, other legacy brands that drive the hobby in other sports. National Treasures is coming in Chronicles. We talked about that in the last video here. Like, can UFC support National Treasures? I don't know if we got that out of UFC brands. Can UFC support Immaculate? I think that was even a question mark.
No,
but here,
and I'm a big UFC collector. There's no way. There's no way. To put together $1,000 pack of UFC would be, I mean, you're looking at, Khabib Nurmagomedov, who at one time was a huge, really tough hit in Topps for autographs. Yeah. I've seen his select autographs down to like $120.
Right.
It's just, I thought I'd never see it. I was at the National this year and I walked by and I had to like do a double take because I thought it was $135. And I was like, seriously? Because it's just his top stuff is just so expensive.
I worry that they're going to do that with Hogan, Undertaker, Stone Cold.
They will.
That was where I was going with
this.
Will. Is like, yeah, because you saw Stone Cold. I mean, Ben, you were talking to me before this release, and you're like, if Stone Cold is on card here, what does that mean for his, Transcendent stuff, which previously was some of the only on card stuff he had in the modern era, besides the Fleer stuff early on, and some of the other releases as they have gone have been sticker. So, even with Panini now, he's had 100 autograph card, like a 99 autograph card in Prism. He's had a lot of cards that high in Select. Now we're having 98 numbered cards for the Hall of Fame card, or for the WrestleMania card. Then another 99 parallel with parallels for the base superstar autograph. Like I said, can UFC support a product like this? I mean, maybe once, but even then it's a struggle. Here, we're seeing that because Impeccable has these other elements, like the Champions autos and the silver bars and the chases there, like we're seeing that support be different in WWE. Is that surprising? Is kind of where I was going with that question.
If you want to look at like NT as a standalone WWE product, it's going to have to be on 2 different facets. You're going to have the legends, and it's going to have to be somebody that hasn't been in this stuff before. They got to bring somebody big to the table. There's only one name left. We all know.
Yes, exactly.
But on the flip side of that,
Typhoon.
Yes,
it's the Shockmaster. Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking Doink. Actually,
I'm in
for Doink. Also, rookie patch autos. Nobody talks about that. They snuck some good looking ones in Impeccable, but if take Cora J, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, people like that with nice National Treasures rookie patch autos, those could be the next big thing, possibly. I'm not here to pump a hypothetical, but that's something that wrestling really hasn't had, rookie patch autos.
Right.
But that's a standard within the card collecting community as a whole. If you look at NT Racing, which was an affordable product, $400 a box, the biggest cards out of there were always the rookie patch autos, but they only had 1 or 2 rookies every year.
Do you think that the fact that WWE is year-round hurts the rookie aspect of it?
Great question.
If it was my choice, I wouldn't give them the RC logo until they made the main roster. If they're in NXT, that's Bowman to me, per se.
Yeah, that's a prospect. That's a prospect product.
It's a prospect card. When they make it to the main roster, then I would give them the RC logo.
Yeah, because you in stick and ball sports, we all know you have the draft, you have the draft class. Maybe once in a while somebody sneaks up that's undrafted that makes a roster and makes a splash, and then you have a rookie card, and then the season's done. So you can say 2018 is Lamar Jackson's rookie year, 2017 is Patrick Mahomes' rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with wrestling, if somebody appears on Thanksgiving in 2022 and then they make a 2022 product, are they a 2022 rookie? It gets confusing because there is no set beginning
season.
Yeah, there's no season, exactly. It's like a rolling timeline almost.
So does that also hurt then because usually when you have a stick and ball sport, you have the same rookie class from beginning of the year to the end of the year, give or take some undrafted guys that exploded like Bailey Zappi. So how does that change then in wrestling where people are coming in the middle of the year? We saw Roxanne Perez enter in select, Nikita Lyons. Those are probably the bigger rookies. Now you've debuted them in select. Now it was a mezzanine card. It was, whatever. So it's not the same thing. Nikita Lyons had more. There's still a couple of guys in NXT. Probably then you're looking at 2023 Prism as their first Prism card, but they were debuted in 2022 sets. Are they rookies for that? There's a lot of sort of back and forth on that. And you mentioned the rookie patch autographs. That is the draw in every major high-end product that Panini does, right? You look at National Treasures, the most expensive cards in the hobby are the National Treasures rookie patch autographs. You look at Prism, the most expensive cards in Prism are the golds of those rookie years, right? So with WWE, I don't know if you can do that the same way because the people are coming in and being inserted in the middle of the year. Right. Should Panini have saved those guys for 2023 and just said, this is the 2022 rookie class. It was gigantic. We had a ton of NXT UK guys. We had a ton of NXT guys. We had some main roster people that didn't even have cards yet, all of that. And then you're looking at 2023 being maybe the first Cody Rhodes autographs. You're looking at maybe the first at Bray Wyatt's new return gimmick. How do you sort of structure a product release calendar to mirror a year-round sort of experience? Now, if we expect that Prism 2023 is going to come out again around WrestleMania, what does that mean? So I think there's a lot of question marks here, and there's a lot of challenges that Panini is going to face as they go through this product configuration because of exactly what you just said.
I think they just came out of the gates blazing. They saw that Topps really did the bare minimum.
Yeah.
They really did do the bare minimum, except for one product, Transcended.
Yeah.
Everything else was just kind of, if a wrestler debuted a new gimmick, you wouldn't see it on a card for a year, sometimes longer than that. And then you got stuff in select, people that had just come into NXT 2 months ago. They got their first night picture, boom, on a card in a pack. So that's, to me, that just screamed laziness on Topps' part. But honestly, I like their products, so I'm not going to bash them. They used pretty much everybody they could use. And it says, why did they use everybody all at once when they could have saved some people back?
Is that maybe another reason why Impeccable has been a little bit more successful as a premium product, because they are focusing much more on people that are on TV making impact, and then the really sort of focused legend, experience with, there's the Johnny Rods, there's the Bushwhacker Lukes, but we're getting a heavy contingent of Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels.
You don't buy this stuff for Bushwhacker Luke.
No, exactly. But you have to even out the checklist a little bit.
Yeah, I mean you do, and you have to remember that to Ben's point, there's only 10 rookie patch autos on the set.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it really is the top 10 of the rookie class now. And obviously these cards have to be made months, if not months in advance, and they have to get hard signed and everything else. If they had stickers, they could just make a card, slap a sticker on it, and call it a day. So they could get a Roxanne Perez in there last second if they wanted to, but they didn't. Everything's on card. So you're talking about months of checklist planning. execution of the set, and I think that they really did pick the best rookies to be those 10 cards at the end of the set.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm Ben. For me, I'm a Legends guy. I don't watch wrestling right now, other than the top names. I don't pay attention. So for me, it's all about Legends and the sets. So that's
You're not alone there, though. You're not the only one that collects like that, though.
Right, exactly. And I'm not, like if I opened a pack and I got like almost or not to pick on
Right.
anybody in particular, I'd be like, well, shit, I don't, But so I think this set has a little bit of something for everybody. I've got one thing. I feel like the set after a while gets monotonous. I feel like the design is similar on a lot of the cards. It's that horizontal design with the little, the picture could be a little bigger. And this is nitpicky shit because this is a good product.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I mean,
but like all of the horizontal cards look the same to me. They just are a different subset. There really is not a lot of switch up.
3 separate cards, but yes, all very similar.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get those look. And it's the same way with the horizontal cards too. And then you get some of the WrestleMania cards, the WrestleMania appearance cards. I think that the numbers are too big. They take up like a third of the card. And I really think they should have shrunk down the number and made the picture bigger. Because So
I was thinking that too. Like, so personally, I like the standardized sort of set motif. Like, that's always been something that I like. I don't like when they jump around with the designs. I don't think it works. It doesn't make it feel like a product anymore. It makes it feel like Chronicles. So like, I feel like having that set motif is really good. I think my one nitpicky thing with some of the WrestleMania stuff is there's a black like stripe across the top, and sometimes it just intrudes way too far into the pictures. But somebody brought this up on Twitter, and I think it was a really good sort of explanation. Select was wrestler focused, right? And I'm talking about the design. I'm talking about the photos. I'm saying, it was really like wrestler focused. Prism was much more of like zoomed out photos, more action shots, more like that type of stuff. So it wasn't as wrestler focused. This seems like it's kind of in the middle. Like there are some cards that are very wrestler focused. There are others that are more similar to Prism. So I mean, like overall, like I like the way that it sort of flows together. I know that if you're ripping 5 cases like Ben did, like it might be a little bit monotonous, but when you're chasing stuff and you want it to look like a set, like I think that for somebody like me who only collects one person, I want it to look sort of continuous throughout the product. Now, where Panini tends to have issues is that those designs are reused over and over and over.
Oh, they'll be in next year's.
Right.
Next year.
So the cards won't, the cards don't tend to change all that much year over year. Now, that means for an NFL or an NBA class where you have rookies, that might be different because it's like you want to have the same Madden game. You just want to get the new players in, right? So it's sort of that sort of approach. But here, I think it's going to be a necessity to rebuild it and rebuild it every year and make it look, at least somewhat improved over previous years. So those were my nitpicky things. I also think the silver bars are pretty gimmicky, but that's just me.
I agree with you, but I think what they need to do is if they're gonna keep one set the same year to year, it has to be the Hall of Fame set.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the continuity.
If you look at Panini did a Super Bowl signature set.
That's what I was about to bring up. I was going to say.
Yeah, we were all going there.
Yeah, that's where we're going, and we're talking a multi-year. They're going on like 8 years now of this set, and it is one of the most widely collected autograph sets. And it's crazy because cards some are numbered, a few are numbered, but most of them are not. And there are some that are extreme short prints that you never see.
Yeah, they go for a ton of money. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Ravens collector, and I bought the only Rod Woodson in a Ravens uniform. Everybody thinks of him as a Steeler, but he was on the Ravens Super Bowl 35 team. I paid $200, which I thought was a steal for that card, and I paid $200 for the Jonathan Ogden card, Because I'd never seen them, so I had to buy them to keep my set together. But when you keep the design the same, it's almost like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's
continuity. It's
just like a living set almost. Where I think next year, let me look at this real quick. In the Hall of Fame set, there's 30 cards in the Hall of Fame set. You know what they should do is pick up in 2023 with card number 31 and go 31 to 50.
That's cool. I like that idea.
60, and just have it the same design. And what I love, I am a sucker for oddly numbered autograph cards. Because we are so used to 5, 10, 25, 50, 100,
good point.
299.
My favorite is 2. I love two.
But that's the thing is that I see a card and I go, it's numbered out of 13. Well, that's rare. And it's not any rarer than a 10. In fact, there's 3 more of them. But the fact that it's so weird, and looking at the Hall of Fame set, the lowest numbered one is Greg Valentine at 4. So that set is doable. That set is absolutely doable. And
the debut, there is a 101 Lita. So she is the rarest of all 4 of the subsets.
Right.
Lita's 101. Brock Lesnar is ending tonight, and it's 2 of 2.
And I'm not a fan of the 1 of 1 as part of the base set.
I know it's tough. It makes it impossible. Yeah.
But it kills interest in the set too.
I agree. I think I
it's a huge point.
If you, I remember back in like 2001 Pacific Hockey, I forget the set, but the rookies were all numbered to their jersey numbers, and they were the base set. So it was like the last 30 cards were numbered to their jersey numbers, and there was some never did anything goalie that was his jersey number was 1. And I remember that's all people were talking about is who's going to get this card, and then there were offers of like 10 grand for it. People wanted to do the set, but the problem is once that card is found and sold, you have no interest in the set. So I mean, I would, because you can't complete it. So and we're all completists at heart. I think a lot of us.
Yeah, that's a lot of us. Yeah.
4 is not a lot, but 4 is doable. And then there's like 3.
That's a really good point. And I've talked to a lot of people on Instagram and a lot of people on Twitter. I posted the question today on Twitter, like, there's a lot of people chasing these cards. A lot of people, more than we're chasing anything in any of the previous sets. And I think that's the challenge, right? When you make the set basically undoable or uncompleted for 99.99% of the people out there, like, does that kill interest in thing, or does it make that 101 now 5 to 10 times more valuable, right?
Well, that Lita card is $2,000 minimum. If not
I think so, at least. Yeah, she's going to be the most expensive one.
Yeah,
because everybody's going to want it.
Somebody's going to be like, I'm doing this set, and I'm going to buy that card. And
somebody's going to pull it and not know what they pulled, and they're going to put it up there for $300 or $400, and it's going to be gone in about 2 minutes.
It won't make it to 2 minutes. Yeah, it'll make it 1 second. But what did Brock go for? I didn't see where that auction ended.
I'm gonna see if it's done. Hold on.
But yeah, so I mean, like I'm running the meeting, so I can't do it. But I think this set is really one of, like, in baseball you have the 500 home run set from the Upper Deck. You've got a couple of other sets, but that one sort of set that everybody gravitates towards in baseball, it's that 500 home run bat relic set. It's just the one that sticks out in my mind. In football, it's the continuity set through all the Super Bowls. It's like, basketball, it's the sneaker spotlight. It's whatever. Like, I think these cards have a chance to be that in wrestling. So now my next question is this.
So real quick, it's got 18 minutes left. It's at 7:10.
Yeah, you saw it.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it'll go a lot higher than that in the last couple of seconds. But so Brock is 2 of 2 or 1 of 2, and that card is one of the lowest numbered ones. And I tweeted out kind of of all 4 sets, that's probably the lowest, other than Lita. But
it's also
my next question is this.
Absolutely insane picture on it too, which just helps.
Yeah, it's from SummerSlam, I think, when he beat The Rock, right? So the question is, this was originally supposed to be immaculate. Did they make the right call going with Impeccable over a legacy brand like Immaculate?
I think so. Immaculate would have been fun to see, but you would have had to have some crazy patches. Immaculate's driven more on logos and crazy, shoe pieces, boot pieces, whatever they can come up with. I don't know that they had all that stuff to make Immaculate with just yet. Maybe they
No,
do.
I don't think so either.
I think they did the right thing with the on-card autographs. It's a classy looking set. My favorite part of it is the base cards. I'm in love with these
Oh,
things.
they look great.
I may
look
try
really
to build
good.
the bronze to 99 set. I'm about a quarter of the way there, so I may try.
It's doable.
Yeah, you see how high those are selling too. Like
I
base
haven't even
cards
looked.
selling. Yeah, like there's a Liv Morgan that sold for like $150. Like,
Wow.
they're selling for a lot of money as you get into the parallels. The question then is, for guys that are sort of the lower end set collectors, is that going to be able to drive them to want to engage with this product? Because
No.
I think that's what sort of kept people out of Prism and stuff like that. I think it's still a little bit out of the range there, but man, that base set looks good. It looks
You're
so
looking
freaking
at
good.
100 cards at $15 a card is $1,500. So
It's an expensive set to build.
and that's a really expensive set for a base set. That's really, really expensive. And I brought it up on the previous video. If you're a set collector, do you have to get the 10 RPAs that are numbered 101 to 110? Because
That's a great question.
I wouldn't. I would be content with the base set 99 with no autos. To me.
So you're saying the 10 are part of the set?
They are technically part of the set, but if I was to build this set, and if I do, and I very may well do it, I don't want those. I just want the actual base cards that are not autographed and not a RPA.
Yeah, I kind of wish that they had numbered those as part of the set, but I understand why they did it to make it a rookie card.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So then kind of the next thing is, do you see this product, other parts of this product, continuing to hold water over time because of some of the crossover from the other sports? Where do you see some more sort of that action happening? Are more people going to catch on? Do you see this sort of being the entry point for those collectors to come back after Prism? Like, where do you see kind of the other sports sort of factoring into the long-term value of Impeccable here?
I think Select brought a lot of people back. To be honest with you.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
At its price point, it was very affordable for the average collector. I mean, I hate to say that $150, $200 a box is affordable, but in today's time, it actually is.
It's nothing. It's like nothing. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Chronicles is going to surprise a lot of people. There's going to be some really cool stuff.
Yeah, we talked about that at length.
It won't surprise you, or you don't like it.
Oh, I love it. I love
it too.
He's saying he's not going to be surprised. He's saying he's not going to be surprised.
God awful product that Panini put out. It was like they threw everything in the laundry and just said, whatever comes out, we'll just throw it in a pack. And then I think it was one football class caught fire, and then all of a sudden these $70 Chronicles boxes are going for $400. And I was like, this is the junkiest stuff they put out. And then I realized that, hey, it's actually pretty cool.
The first Chronicles set, I think, was a baseball set, and it was hideous. It had like this horrible. First off, I hate Panini baseball because it doesn't have any logos, which I hate the non-logo stuff. It looks like they're wearing pajamas when they take all the numbers and everything off of them. But they had like these god awful like newspaper clipping cards in them.
Oh yeah.
I want to say it was like 2017, which was Judge and Bellinger's rookie year. I think that's when it was.
You are correct, because I have a recollection of that.
Right. And so, but that set over time has become one of the best that Panini offers, because I think what happened was the initial idea was to make it just a junk $50 a box junk set. And then they started adding a chrome subset. And then they added Prism subsets, and then they added select and patches, and
noir,
right. And now it's become
silhouettes.
Yeah, it's become a monster that everybody wants. So it's over the last 5 or 6 years, it's really evolved into something that's really a great set. I wish that Impeccable had more base inserts. I think that what they
should
zero.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
No, there's none. And I think what they should have done is for the wrestlers that are in the Hall of Fame that are gone and no longer with us and obviously can't sign, they should have had an insert set that
With
was
a
numbered for
facsimile.
the year and put like, Andre the Giant to 95 or 93, whenever he would, and put Ultimate Warrior in 2000, numbered to 14, and Macho Man numbered to 11, and
Great
just
idea.
pack it full of Hall of Fame. I'm a big Hall of Fame guy in all the sports. Pack it full of Hall of Fame.
Yeah, my thing, I love championships. Like, I wish Topps did so much more with like championships. This is really the first company to take advantage. We saw it in Prism. We saw the champions cards. We saw it in Select. They had champions cards. Here they have numbered championship cards with autographs. Like, I'm all about that. Like the same way you are about Hall of Fame. There are ways to sort of represent value without adding a signature, right? There are also no cut autographs in this set. That's number one. I don't think they've had the time to gather this stuff because this is still only 5 months into their real license here. And 10 months if you go back to like the first of the year when it started. So they couldn't really even build a lot of this stuff until the license started. So I think next year we're going to see a lot more feature. We're going to see a lot more sort of cool stuff being added. There's a lot of people complaining, oh, I hate the t-shirts, or I hate this. Like, guys, it's been 10 months. Like, most of the licensees for WWE aren't able to go to the superstars to get stuff. And most of the wrestlers are paying for their own gear out of pocket. They're also, tying emotions to that. They wear it for a long time. That's a little bit different than it is in baseball or football, where the teams are supplying it. They're using 4 to 5 a year, sometimes more. Basketball is 1.5 sometimes, right? So like, there's not as much of it, and the yield is so small because they're just wearing these tiny little trunks. So like, and you can get like a Charlotte Flair robe. You can get it for 20 grand. Like, I can find a Charlotte Flair robe, but how do you cut that up, right? Like, there's a lot of complexity to cutting those things up.
They cut up Babe Ruth bats. They're going to cut up a Charlotte.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not from a historical significance. I'm not talking about historical significance. I'm talking about logistics of actually cutting feathers out of a robe or something like that. So I mean, like, I think we're going to get a lot of that next year. We're going to get some unique stuff added to products next year. I think right now they're trying to make do with what they can get. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting time. And I think next year, if we do end up getting Immaculate instead of this, hopefully there's some more feature to it, like you were saying. But I said there's ways to represent value outside of adding a signature. You can put on like a facsimile autograph. You can number them according to, significant dates like that. Great idea. Things like that weren't done here.
If you look at Panini products, especially the really high-end ones, almost always the very first offering is like this, where it's good, people like it, and then they evolve it.
They water it down.
Yeah, you could say that, sure, because the more they cram in there, the more they can make, and the more they can sell, of course. But I don't see why they couldn't buy. Macho Man's one of my guys. Why couldn't you get a robe? His robes are everywhere, it seems like. Why can't you get a hat and cut it up? You imagine what a Macho Man hat card out of 50 would go for? It would be $1,000 card probably. Depending on what the swatch was. And speaking of swatches, I will say that I agree with you, Adam, that the Select 101 swatches were excellent. Those were obviously hand selected and put in the card by somebody who cares. The same was not done for Impeccable. Yeah, exactly. I'm a big proponent of, for the 101 cards, you select the absolute best swatch you can find. And you get, if you're going to put stickers on them, do the absolute best stickers you can find too. Like that Alexa Bliss sticker on that 101.
Awful.
It's probably the only one she went off a sticker on.
Yeah. She said that was brutal.
Whoever's making that card's like, yeah, good enough, bam, put it on there.
So let's talk about that for a second, because Ben and I were talking about this too. And I was talking with Jameson, who people know as Exquisite Sports Collectibles on Instagram. He was noticing that the 25 auto relics have better relics than the 101s. And like, how does that happen? And I think like that was a huge miss. Like, I have a Finn Balor out of 25 that's better than the 101. There's a Rey Mysterio that's out of 25 with his mask in it. It's just an absolutely insane
Oh, I
relic.
saw that. Yeah.
It's like it's better than the 101. Like
That should have
shouldn't
been the
happen.
101. That should have been
Yeah,
the 101.
shouldn't happen. Nothing like that should happen.
And Seth Rollins is like a black and white swatch.
Exactly. Shinsuke, there was a like I think was one of the good 101s. It was like a picture of his face with the big giant nose. Like, and then there was stuff where the wrestlers have added inscriptions to 101s to make them special. But overall, I think there was a huge miss in coordinating some of the parallels across the relics. You know, and I attributed to, like, if you've seen those videos that Panini put out 7-8 years ago of making the relic cards, you can see they put them in without the fronts on them, and then they layer the front after it. So maybe something got mixed up or something happened. That was a huge opportunity missed. Right. I think that like luck. What I'm guessing happened is they probably got 2 to 3 T-shirts per person. There's not as many logos to go around. They're trying to sort of save things because they never know when they're going to get back to it. So I would guess that the select black 101s where they have the WWE logo, it's the first one that's happened. You know, whatever. They're going to be great cards. These should have been this like really cool like content stuff. It doesn't seem like they really planned that out as well as they probably should have. And I think that is one of those misses. But I also think Impeccable is not as much a rainbow product. So you're not seeing collectors like, I have to get the 99, the 25, the 10, and the 101. They're going to choose the one that has the best relic and pay the most for that. And right. I think that that's where, outside of the 101 being a numbering thing as well as that, I think that was the one big miss I think I saw. So, all right.
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Oh, I was going to bring up Flawless. I want Flawless next year. I think that it has the opportunity.
That was my next question.
The only Flawless in the last few years that comes out at $12.50 a box like it used to be, and has the opportunity to pull some really insane stuff. I think they could put some good cut autographs in there. They can bring on it could just be a really good product. I'll put it that way.
It could be, you know, and they wouldn't make a whole ton of it like they do basketball and football until you pull the Shinsuke encased card in your pack.
Yeah,
well, not mad at Shinsuke. Shinsuke's got collectors.
So, like, here's the thing. So I think so. We look at the box hits, right? So you can go to the last card before the last base card in every Impeccable pack. There's a list of guys. It's Brock Lesnar, it's Seth Rollins, it's Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch. I think Braun Breaker's in there. Like, you know who those people. Rey Mysterio made it in there, I think, once or twice. Like Roman Reigns, Batista, like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, Undertaker. All of the top level guys are in that last card before the last base card. I would guess those are probably the same people would be the encased cards and Flawless. Some edits need to be made to those things because you could. I think Liv Morgan is in that part of the box, and I was like, that's probably not right. But that was my next question. Yeah, Kofi Kingston. So that was my next question is if we know, yes, Kofi has signed every card that's been put in front of him over the last 5 years.
Not a dig on Kofi, but you know what?
He signs a lot.
He does.
He's been in product for like 10 years.
He is the Bob Feller of wrestling signers.
Yes, that's a great analogy. It's a great analogy.
You know how many times I see
Paul Horning. It's Paul
12 count of baseballs all signed by Bob Feller. The guy signed $5 a piece.
So, Paul Horning, Upper Deck used to go to Paul Horning every year because he would sign whatever they wanted for $5 an autograph, and they would just literally load him up. But anyways, so you mentioned Flawless. What does Impeccable show as sort of a potential to see other high-end premium configuration products? Where are we, besides Flawless, which we sort of covered a little bit here, where are some of the other ways that you would expect them to go maybe next year?
My white whale is Imminence.
Yeah.
Unless they want to create something completely different and not different, but mimic what Topps did and have an experience. Make 50 or 100 boxes, take people to an event, wine them, dine them, have some autographed guests, and then have a super premium product along with it. Like, that's a good formula that Panini, for some reason, they copied everything from Topps before. Why won't they copy that? I don't know.
Eminence is great. Those cards are so good.
Oh, Eminence is insane. I got to open one case of that one time. soccer, and then it was. I mean, every card is just blows you away.
I mean, I'm not an Eminence fan personally. They're nice cards. I don't see adding a little bit of thickness and putting them in a mag a reason to charge 20 grand or 30 grand or whatever the hell they charge for it.
It used to be like $4 or $5 grand for the soccer.
Yeah, it's not anymore.
So, no,
Not
it's
anymore.
not anymore.
Not anymore. I would like to see a National Treasures set. I think, but a National Treasures set at a price point $750 or under per pack.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be. I mean, because racing's predominantly $450 tops. I think that wrestling would be in the $700 to $750 range.
Right. And I think that, you know, I'm so hung up on this rookie thing. Because rookies drive so many products, but I think wrestling, my opinion is the legends drive it. And
so here's a question. If you did NT, would you use stickers like they do in football and basketball?
Me? No, but they will.
They will. And to me, that kind of devalues it and makes something like Impeccable look better because it's all on card.
I agree with you. I do. And I said in our last video, I said to be very, very wary of the redemptions because with fanatics buying Panini, we don't know if, you know, there's no promise that Roman Reigns is going to be on card. There's no promise that Alexa Bliss is going to be on card. There's no promise that, you know, whoever else the redemption is.
Alexa signed for Impeccable.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There was one card. There was yeah.
Yeah, so let's just
Charlotte
Roman
Flair.
Reigns. You know,
Charlotte
Roman
Flair
Reigns.
is the redemption.
What's going to stop them from slapping a sticker on the Roman Reigns card and sending them out? They didn't promise
That's a
you
great
anything.
point.
I mean, it is what it is.
And you run the risk of the points, right? Because I think that's what the class action lawsuit.
Holy shit! Brock just.
What did it go
for?
What did it end at?
You want to guess?
2K.
Hold on.
Don't look. You cheater.
No, I'm pulling. Well,
I'm guessing 2K.
More.
Oh, wow.
I can't even get it to refresh. What was it?
27-16.
God bless.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like I sold that Shawn Michaels a little too cheap.
Yeah, you did.
but at least it went to a collector. I'm good.
Yeah, Steve's a good guy.
I'm gonna bump my Lita prediction. I think that's a $4,000 card now.
Yeah, holy shit.
If the Lesnar did that, for sure. And something like this is going to draw a lot of eyes outside of wrestling cards.
Yeah.
That's what happens. And that's what happens. That's what I was saying is, like, as more people catch on to what's happening, the box price is going to change because they're starting to see the trends go up. Now, when does it reach the peak? That's what happened with Prism. It reached the peak way too early because people got scared. It was wrestling. It was new, whatever. Well, this is a little different.
As the seller, here's what you hate to see. I'm looking at the bidders.
It's a low feedback bidder.
A 221, which is not bad. A 221 outbid a 32.79.
Oof.
So you know that 32.79 was guaranteed to pay for it. You know, I mean, 90%, but hopefully it gets paid for.
I think we'll see. We'll see.
$5,500 Undertaker autograph.
Yeah, so I heard from the seller, so I can talk about that a little bit. So I know the guy that sold it. It is a low feedback bidder. It is somebody that was likely going to be posting similar Undertaker cards because 2 were listed immediately after he hit that accept. So I don't think that's being paid. The $2,000 one, I talked to that seller. I confirmed with somebody that on Terra Peak it did show as paid. So the original Undertaker at $2,000 did get paid for, but the $5,500 one probably not a real sale.
That's healthy for a 22. That's very healthy.
That blew me away. A 2019 Transcendent, I sold the Undertaker 101 auto out of there for $2,000, and I thought that was awesome. I thought that was great. And then I see a number to 22 out of Impeccable sell for the same thing, and it shows you how much wrestling cards have evolved over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that's a great point. I think we're going to see. So this is year 1, right? So let's play this out as if Panini isn't going to be bought by Fanatics. We think it is, but let's play this out. We're now in year 4 of this license. We're coming up on the end of it. We're looking back on year 1, Prism, Select, Impeccable, whatever Chronicles ends up being. Do we look back and laugh at what's happening here and say it's too high or it's too low, it's just right? Where do you guys think it's going to sort of land, fast forwarding into the future and looking back on it?
It depends on how much they whore all these Legends autos, to be honest with you. I mean, if we get 6,000 Stone Cold Steve Austin autos in the next 3 years, it's $100 card.
Yeah. Good
So
point.
looking back on this year, 3 years from now, you'll be like, I don't know why I was paying $700 for a Stone Cold auto or whatever they're going for. I mean, I don't know. It just really depends on what they do with I would short print the big Legends for sure, from here on out at least.
I think that's a key element to this.
They're not going to.
They're not going to.
There's no way.
Because it's the only thing that drives value in WWE.
The first release, we have 98 Stone Cold autographs and 84 Hulk Hogan autographs, in addition to whatever else they're in. And when I saw 98, I was like, that's Adam and I talked about that. That's a ton of cards. I mean, that's a ton of cards for any set, 98 cards. But, I don't see the pack prices staying as high as they are. I don't. I think that they're going to come down once the big time collectors get what they want, and we're stuck with the people who are paying 30% of comps.
Yeah.
And then that crowd comes. Yeah, exactly. That crowd comes in. I think you're going to see a softening of the market. I could see that Stone Cold autograph, which it's an awesome card, and I do want one. I could see it getting under 3 at some point. Maybe.
Yeah, and that happens. Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
I think if it's not, and I said this to Ben yesterday, I was like, if it's not out of 15, it's not rare. So if it's not 15 or below, it's not rare in this product. I would even say as we get further down the path, if it's not out of 10 or lower, it's probably not rare. Like, this is a product that has 2,100-ish hobby cases, if you do the math, another 125 first off the line cases. There's not a lot of it, but there's enough of it. And a lot of it's going to be opened. A lot of it's been broken to hell on whatnot and loop and all these other things. A lot of breakers are still doing a lot of breaking of this product. I would say by now there's probably 1,000 cases that have been ripped. If not, in the next couple of weeks, we're getting into the 1,300 range. Every card is likely going to be pulled that's above 15. So all of those Hall of Fame cards, all of those patch cards, all of those autographs, we're going to see multiple copies start to show up. I think there will be a softening of the market in that respect. But I think unlike some of the other products and that you're seeing in NBA and NFL, people in WWE like to hoard shit. And I think that they're going to keep a lot of the stuff.
Careful.
No, but me included, right? So and Ben always chastises me for this. He's like, you can't let the Becky market grow if you're not going to have the Becky market grow if you're holding everything. So,
That's
and
true.
I was like, well, I don't want it to grow. I want to own the cards, right? But I think that's the mentality of the WWE collector, is that they want to keep these collections to themselves and they don't want to push it out. How does that impact a long-term value of an Impeccable where most of the high value cards are probably 10 copies or less?
Well, and that's the thing with the rookies, especially. There's that argument, that everlasting argument, of the limitless cards versus, like the limitless MJF. I know, but I'm going to go there. The reason the limitless MJF hasn't taken off as the rookie card is because there's only like 20 copies of it. You need to have a community, including people outside of the community, that want to buy it. Their kid watches MJF on TV. Oh, I want to go get a rookie card for my kid. Oh, well, there's only 20 copies and it's $3,000 apparently. Okay, thanks. The Upper Deck from 2021 AEW. Not only is it a main, a main franchise of wrestling now, it's widely available for $5, and it's going to be more popular because people have a chance to buy it. I think the
And
same.
and people, but that's the thing. People in wrestling don't separate popularity and value, right? They're like,
No,
well, it's
they
not the
don't.
most valuable. It's not the most valuable, so it's not. So the rookie card is the limitless because it's more valuable. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
A lot of wrestling collectors, you know, we've talked about this. They are stuck in their
At
bubble.
length,
They
yeah, at
don't
length.
to all of these lessons that we talk about, Adam, you and I all the time, and I'm sure Ben can back us up on this, is if you look at other sports and other products that this stuff has been in, the formula is the same. Exactly the same thing's going to happen. So, you know, like when I preach to you, again, buy your Galactics. Buy your first year Galactics of your wrestler if you can find them, because in a year or two, you're not going to be able to find them. And it's going to get to the point where they're going to show up and they're going to be 5, 6, 7, 10 times what you could have bought them for. But nobody believes me. So it is what it is.
Yeah, Ben's a proponent of that too. I mean, like, not necessarily for those specific cards, but like he and I have talked at length about this too. And we used to sort of laugh at some of the things that were going down as Transcendent was coming out, as Undisputed was coming out, and the way people were approaching those cards. Now with some of these other things, like, it's very different. I mean, and Ben, like us, has had a lot of experience outside of even just the main four sports, because you do Garbage Pail Kids, you do lacrosse. I heard you say you were opening.
I did. I just opened 3 cases of lacrosse today. I love that stuff. I had four 101s in 3 cases.
Yeah. So I mean, like, you've had a lot of experience in this hobby outside of you, where our experience ends. Like, you do non-sport stuff, you do everything.
Marvel, Star Wars.
Yeah, I do. I do the same. I'm heavy on EPAC, and I did a bunch of CFL.
Okay, that's one thing I haven't touched.
I've never watched a CFL game in my life.
I went way too crazy on Marvel Metal Spider-Man, to the point where I had multiple credit card companies calling me for fraud charges.
Yeah. Well, you know what? With what was in those packs, you should have said, yeah, it was fraud.
Yeah,
he did a couple good.
He
did very well.
A couple good cards.
Yeah.
I think I was like about a grand deep, which isn't much. It's only like 25 packs, 30 packs maybe of Spider-Man. And I hit like 4 or 5 PMGs, so I did okay there. But those are some rough packs, man, at $40 a pop.
It was feast or famine. I had back-to-back boxes that was like $12,000 worth of cards. Then I'd go on a run of like 10 boxes that would have $50 of cards in them. So
yeah. And and that's always the thing, is like, if it doesn't rip well and it doesn't rip consistently, people sort of get really weird about it. And so, yeah. So just to wrap this up, like, give me your final thoughts. What on kind of this discussion? Where do you see kind of your own collections sort of changing with Impeccable? What do you see in terms of kind of if you had advice for people in approaching this product? What are you doing here? How are we wrapping this up? Let's put a bow on it here. Ben?
I'll let you go first.
Oh,
you want me to go first? I don't matter.
Let's go.
It's a good product. I think that if you want to buy wax, I would do it now, because I think it's going to go up a little bit more. It's the only product out there right now that seems to be trending upwards across everything, and it's very hesitant to trend upwards, but the single sales are supporting it. And if you want wax, I would get it now. Otherwise, it may be $600-700 a box soon enough. Man, it may come back down after that, but it's a great product in my opinion. A lot of $20 and $30 cards, which helps. It's not a bunch of $2 autos. You know, there's
right.
You'll get one good card per pack. I'm not a big fan of the stainless steel cards. We didn't even talk about that in this show. But,
oh yeah, totally forgot about that.
I'm not a fan.
I think the one thing they have to do for first off the line next year is that if they're going to do the reds, they have to be signed.
Agree. Yeah. It should have been an auto from the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's touch on that for a second, because I think that was one of the worst first off the line exclusives in the history of first off the lines. Like,
not one of the worst.
It was awful. And I think that was why it hit the floor. If they had put in something that wasn't stainless steel related, so you got something better than that plus the base, So you had an exclusive base plus the exclusive hit that wasn't stainless steel related. I think they chose the stainless steel related because it was really the only autograph that you could like print to the moon, or the print, stuff like that. But then they didn't even autograph them. It was just like a base card, and those cards are not popular right now. They're tanking on the market. It's a bad situation.
Would you have paid $1,000 for that Becky 101 stainless auto?
No, I didn't. I had a chance to, and I didn't.
Okay, you passed on it? Okay.
Passed on it.
Yeah, I saw somebody hit the buy now on that, probably because they're like, oh, I got it before Adam.
Yeah.
And then they're going to try to flip it to Adam for $2,000.
Yeah. No, it's the other Becky collector. He got it, and he wanted it just because there were some competitive elements. I told him I wasn't in on it. It was up for about 5-10 minutes. I didn't even put in an offer. It's not my favorite card. I'm not a fan of those. Like, it's just like in hand, they're cool. I think they have some merit, but it's not the box hit. It's not the card that you're chasing.
So you would think a Braun Breaker rookie numbered to 99 would be worth something, right?
It's like a $10 card.
It's like $10. It's like $10.
Yeah.
So I mean, if the second biggest rookie is $10, why is anybody going to pay attention?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
So Ryan, what are your let's get your final thoughts on this here.
I like it as a singles collector. I'm also a Bruce Beefcake autograph collector. He was my guy growing up. Late 80s, that was my guy. Was those Schears are from him, signed by him in the corner there.
Awesome.
So I've been able to pick up the he's only got 5 cards. He's got a 99, a 25, a 10, and a 101, and then the Hall of Fame card. So I think I'm like $125 in for the 99, the 25, and the 10 right now for those 3 cards. I'm going to go heavy on his Hall of Fame card. It's numbered out of 19, which is it's high for the set, obviously. But I don't want to take any chances because I've already seen 2. I've already seen 2. One, the autograph was streaky, and the other one he signed out of the window and into the design, and it didn't hold. So there's one ending on Sunday. I can say that because this video won't be out by then. I'm going to be on a plane for Hawaii, but I'm going to put a huge bid on that card before I take off. Hopefully I get it. And if not, there's 16 more. I do think that they need to add. I hate to sound greedy and be like they need to add a little more, but they need to add a little more. I think there needs to be a non-signed, and not a relic, but just like some insert sets to help kind of boost up the boxes a little bit. There are a ton of, if you look at completed sales, there's a ton of like $10, $12, $13, $15 autographs coming out of this stuff. But really, it's like Ben said, there's really only one hit per box. It's your second to last card. And whatever that is your hit. And if it's
bad, the
not
box
good,
is bad.
and it's not good. It's not like there's something else lurking in the box. But for singles, I think it's fantastic. I'm not a bar card guy. Macho Man only has 1 card in the set, so anybody buying into Macho Man breaks, be aware that like literally he only has a bar card. That's it. But they're going for $450, $420, $450, which is insane to me. But if this is his only card and you can knock it off the list, then what's $400, I guess.
Yeah.
I do like this set. I think it gives you a chance to get a Hogan or a Stone Cold autograph relatively inexpensive, and the Stone Cold is the full signature. It's not just Austin 316 like his Fleer autograph. I'm excited to see what they do with it next year. I think I'd like to see more legends. I'd like to see guys like Jim Cornette sign for that set, especially with his podcast.
That would be a big card.
That would be very polarizing.
Yeah, well,
be a big card, though.
Whatever you think about the guy, that card would be hot. That card would be hot if he signed for the set.
I want Pat McAfee. I want Pat McAfee to sign.
Yeah, Pat McAfee, all those, and
Logan Paul,
Paul Heyman.
I kind of get my hopes up for a Jim Ross autograph, but that's probably not going to happen, But there's just there's a lot of guys that didn't seem to make it into the last couple of WWE sets, and that's probably because of like Owen Hart. Like we'll never see an Owen Hart card again because of the lawsuit with his wife. They're not producing anything Owen Hart. like I said, to add on that Hall of Fame set, you could have had like Mean Gene, you could have had Macho Man, you could have Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant,
Pete Rose.
Yeah,
Pete
Pete
Rose.
Rose.
Yeah,
Even,
exactly.
all those
How
guys.
cool would a Pete Rose Hall of Fame card be?
It'd be
It'd
awesome.
It'd be awesome. But these are all things, and I hope Lucas and Panini watches this, and they take into these are three collectors here who are telling you a way to go, and I really hope that that's something they take into account. But I think overall, I think the first offering was great. They did a great job with it. Hopefully, all the redemptions come back on card. I think if that happens, it's an A product. That's it. They have to bolster the first off the line offering, though. That has to be better.
Oh my God, yes.
I think Adam's idea of like a red base card to 15 and then a red autograph to 15 or whatever would really keep the first off the line at $750, $800 a pack.
Sure.
Versus being, bottoming out at 500 and being cheaper right off the bat than the basic pack. So,
yeah, and I think the first off the line coming out a week early was a horrible thing to happen. I mean, it was good for Whatnot. It was good for certain people that get $1,700 a box because people were on Whatnot not doing math. But like, my thoughts on this is, I think first off the line really cheapened some of this stuff. I think it was a really big sort of egg on the face moment when we saw the way that those turned out. But overall, for a first shot at a WWE super premium product, I'm very happy. Like, but I'm a singles buyer, right? I did rip some of this for the first time, and I was like, this was fun. It was a really fun product, and I had a good time, looking at what I got out of it. I don't think I lost a lot of money either, which is good. But I think from a singles buyer's perspective, like for me, this is a home run. For people that have much wider ranging collections and want to like have a little bit more fun, I think there's a little bit left to be desired, but that's kind of what first products are meant to be, right? It's supposed to whet your appetite so that you keep coming back, you build brand loyalty. And I think collectors, if they see this again next year, they're going to have an expectation of what the product can bring. They're going to have an expectation of what it's going to be in those boxes. And I think it'll be a little bit different. Hopefully we have people like Cody Rhodes, we have Bray Wyatt, we have people that have come back, Braun Strowman, you name it, who haven't been in products for a while, and maybe come next year in Impeccable, these are their first on-card autographs. I really like that prospect. I also think that there's some opportunity to do people, like you were saying, that haven't been in these products yet. And Macho Man is, I don't get it. Like, Panini just has a vendetta against this dude or something, but like, he's not in prison. He's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, so Ben, we've talked about this. Macho Man, first off, he was absent from a lot of top sets. Like, there's a lot of top sets that he just was not in, not even a base card. And he was in, what was the first one? Prism?
Yeah.
It was Prism, right? He was not in Prism, but neither was Brutus Beefcake. But he was not in Prism. He ended up in Revolution on 2 cards, one with
he was in Select
with Macho Man, and now he doesn't even have a base card in Impeccable, which is, it's insane to me. But like, it needs more cowbell. It needs more legends. It needs more legends.
I said when I saw the preview for this, my one piece of feedback was I didn't see the chase. And I think the Hall of Fame cards have sort of created a chase. The WrestleMania, the championship cards have sort of created a chase, but there wasn't like the big logo one-of-ones like they have for the rookies in the NFL. They're not like these, crazy chase cards that drive a super premium product. Like, oh, okay.
I will say there technically was, and we saw it tonight, a Brock Lesnar to 2 just became a $2,700 chase card.
Fair. Okay.
It's a chase in a different aspect of what you're thinking of. It's a set collector's chase, which is a different ball game.
Yep. Good point. So, but I think next year I'd like to see some big banger chase that is going to be like, everybody's going to want this one-of-one set or this one-of-one type thing, because that's become the Panini way, right? Like, that's where I think Panini has always conditioned us to think that way. I like that. Like, I know a lot of people hate it. I like it, but that's just my own take on it. And I think the silver cards, I'm not a fan of them. I'm not a fan of gem cards. I'm not a fan of any of that type of stuff. except when it makes sense for the wrestlers. So guys like Million Dollar Man, Cameron Grimes, guys that have money as part of their thing. Otherwise, someone suggested on Twitter, now I can't get it out of my head. And Ben, I know you say not everybody has a title, so it's tough to do this. I would have shaped the precious metal like a championship belt. So you had like a Hogan, silver belt or a gold belt, and make the outline a championship belt instead of just the bar with a stamp on it. I think that would have made more sense. But this is the way Panini does the cards in all the other sports. They're just trying to repurpose that. I get it. But overall, like, man, for a singles collector, this was a home run. I loved it. And I'm still chasing cards from it. I'm still chasing cards from Select. I'm still chasing cards from Prism. Like, that's where I think Panini is really driving a different collector behavior in people like me, because there's so much to get. We're not completing chases like we did with Topps before the next product comes out. So now we're sort of like now cycling through the windows, and it gives you anxiety, but I think it's a good anxiety. I would hate to be bored like I was with some of the areas in Topps where it would be like product comes out, you get 99, 50, 25, 10, and then you're just waiting on the 101s. Here, it's a completely different type of experience, and I really like that. So,
and sometimes you had to wait a year for a product to come out, and then they would throw 4 of them out in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it sucks. It was awful. Yeah. I like the regular calendar, but all right, guys, this has been super fun, and I hopefully a good experience for our first time sort of doing this on our own. Maybe take the training wheels off. But it was great to have you guys on. I love having more people on these shows that have multiple areas of expertise outside of just wrestling. I think that is really the key for a lot of these Panini type products, is just having that reference point. I think the 3 of us are really fitting that because of our experience in other sports. I hope the people that have lived their lives in the wrestling bubble get exposed to more of this. More of them are sort of getting that experience now. I'm seeing a lot more of it. Others are getting more and more adamant against it, but we're seeing some progress. So just to close this out, why don't you guys give your Twitter handles, your Instagram, eBay stores, whatever you want to do. Ryan, where can they find you?
Twitter at Slim Jim Madness. I'm pretty active on there. That's it. It's easy to find me.
Ben?
I don't do a whole lot of social media, but I'm on eBay at 825, and I just wanted to say thank you for letting me come on. This is the first time I got to do this, and it was fun. So
yeah, Ben and I are close. I've been wanting to get him on one of these, and hopefully we can make it a little bit more regular.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, well, we have a good time with this stuff, Ben, and we've done a few of these, and they've gone a long time. So I'm glad
this was courtesy of Blanton's. We had a good time.
There you go. There you go. And I am at WWE Gellman on Instagram. I'm at SC Uncensored on Twitter. You can hit me up there. But this has been our title match for Panini Impeccable. We'll be back hopefully periodically with more conversations like that. Thanks again, everyone.